Hello and good morning again. Um, it's Amanda. I'm just here to, um, one, I prayed for everyone when these storms and stuff, they got pretty kind of hairy in places. And I hope and pray that everyone's okay. And, I know it's going to be an icky day all day as far as rain, but it's going to be a good day. Every day's a good day. Anyway, I was thinking about it earlier whenever I was getting a shower and things like that and walking around straightening up the house. And I did a video last year. I started doing this stuff last year. I really didn't know what I was doing or what I was going to say, what I was going to do. I knew that I wanted my channel to be a channel that could help people in any way possible. And I'm hoping that, my channel will grow so I can do that for people. I've always wanted to start a shelter to help people homeless or in having some troubles, like if you've lost a child, you're on drugs, you're getting off and you need help, just all kinds of things like that. I've always been like that. My grandma always said that I was a big hearted person and always wanted to take care of somebody. I mean, even my sister was little, I was mother hen to her. When she first got there I didn't like her, but after about 6 months my dad and them said that I was her mommy. Okay, no one got to do anything if it didn't come through me first. So I've always been, I guess, that type of person. My Aunt Verlene says every day, every time I talk to her, that you're just so sweet and such a good-hearted person. You've always been beautiful inside and out. I believe I am beautiful on the inside, but outside not so much. I'm getting older. Get 50 and I'm like, ugh, But I made a video last year over my husband had gotten paid and we had rent and all kinds of things due. Anyway, went that morning to the gas station to get his gas put in his car so he could go to work. While he was still resting, I got up early enough to do, I always do, get up, make sure he's got his lunch, and on a Friday or whatever, he would want a little extra cash or something so that he could get maybe lunch himself or whatever. And okay, no problem. So, he didn't need the cash that morning because he already had it. So I got him gas and I got him a couple of snacks he asked for. And I only spent, maybe 50, 60 bucks there that morning. And that was at 4:30 in the morning. Okay. So from 4:30 in the morning till, oh gosh, what was it, about 8 o'clock or something, I went to get gas in my vehicle. And it was right before my husband was about to call me on his break. And my card wasn't working. So I popped it in the ATM machine there, checked my balance, and I seen the balance. I'm like, how did this go from that amount that we had in there, my husband got paid on, to only $8 or $9? So I called the bank that the card was going through. It was an Emerald card at the time, which we don't use anymore because I don't trust them anymore. They get hacked a lot for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm not in here to explain myself to y'all. I don't have to do that. There was a couple of comments on there last year of it that saying, a lot of people were very sweet, praying and wishing me the best. And I'm thankful for y'all, every one of you. Even for the one that said a nasty thing. He didn't say nasty. It was he said, oh, this is a scam, clearly. And I got on there and trying to defend everything, saying, no, I've got proof, blah, blah, blah. Which I do. I still got proof. But really, that part's none of y'all's business as far as, y'all want to question me with that. It's not right. It's naughty. But to me it is. I think that's ugly. And I know there is a lot of scammers and crooked people out there. I know there is. I've had it happen to me, and it did. And we were just so distraught over okay, how are we going to pay this bill, that bill, get groceries and all that, And I got on there and I was crying. I was really upset. I was scared. I was like, I've got a family here and I've got to take care of them. And how are we going to do that without our paycheck? And we did. We went through a very hard time last year. Very, very. And I know a lot of people did. Everybody has. But we did lose. We had to move. We did. We finally got the money back. But it took them a bit. Anyway, we did have to move. And thankful to my oldest son William and my daughter and my grandbabies. They took us in for about, I think, almost 2 weeks until we were able to get out, find a place and get out on our own again. And we did. God blessed us with our back wanting to be where we wanted to be in Greenwood, Arkansas. We've always wanted to be back here since we left. And because there's so many wonderful people over. This community actually does care about their people. They really, really do. Fort Smith does to a small point, and I'm not putting down Fort Smith because that was where I was born and raised. But the community of Fort Smith, they don't. There's a lot of churches and places like that helped us out, and I'm very grateful and blessed for y'all. But there's a lot of ugly people over there too. They don't. Over here in Greenwood, people, like, if your house, gets messed up by the storm, even though if you have insurance or not, regardless, fires, whatever. I mean, your insurance is taking care of rebuilding it or taking care of it, but if it don't, like, I know there was someone here, years ago that just right down the road from us that had a house that burnt, I believe. If I'm not, I know I'm going to quote on that, but I think it was. Anyway, the community came together and helped her with all of that. They come together and help with clothes and furniture and items and all kinds of stuff, and they're amazing people. I used to work at a retirement center over here, and which I need to go over there and visit my babies. I miss them. And as a CNA or a caregiver or whatever, nurse, it's not easy, but it's very rewarding. So anyway, I'd already been away from that place for a while because they do have some mental patients in there that one of them actually hurt me, so my husband didn't want me working there anymore, but I still go up there and visit. I miss them. Anywho, I was working at the tobacco store at the time here in Greenwood, and me and Tanya, one of the ones that worked there, we were always saying that, because she worked there before too at the retirement center, and I said, what would be great if I could get a hold of the mayor or somebody here and see what we could do for those people and getting them a really good Christmas, because there's a lot of them that don't have family that come visit. And I'm not saying that the owner of the place or the people there don't try to get them something. They always do, but I wanted just to put it on my heart that I wanted something for them, it just hit me and I wanted to do it. So Tony said, yeah, go for it. So I got a hold of the mayor, and Mayor, hey, me and you had some words, but you're an amazing man. First I said something about it on there, and I didn't get any response from him. I left a message. They said he would call me back, blah, blah, blah. And then I made a nasty comment, which I'm very wrong for, saying, yeah, if you cared enough for your community, you would come back and at least call a person back and see what we could do. Well, he called me. He called me, actually seen the message. He called me and he said, Miss Richardson? I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, I'm sorry, you feel like that. And I said, I'm sorry that I said that. I said it out of anger and it wasn't right. And I apologize. I promise. I said, forgive me. He said, all forgotten, all good. He said, okay, what's going on? I told him, and oh my gosh, it was so amazing. He said, give me a day or two. He called and told me to show up at the retirement center if I could be there for this. And I said, oh, yes, I do. And I took pictures and things because Tanya wanted to see it and she had to work. They had 2 or 3 truckloads of stuff come in for them. There's 60, 70 people there, and they got them, every one of them got a robe, pajamas, an outfit, or sweats, things they needed, coloring books and puzzles and games and cologne and perfume and just all kinds of little goodies, and it was amazing because that big old tree they put in there was so many things under it. We put them all in gift bags, and it was just amazing to watch us all carrying that in and sitting there and watching their faces. It was like watching a little kid on Christmas morning, Of course, they did have to wait. We did get them something small for each one of them to open because I knew they were going to be excited about opening a present. But that was an amazing day, and I thank the community of Greenwood for that because they set something up a day or two after that and had people donating to that. And they called and said that they had this, and this, and I'm going, this is amazing. They even donated more soaps and shampoos and bar soaps and toothpaste, toothbrushes, and Some of them do smoke down there. I do. Sadly, I'm trying to quit. But, they love, a lot of them have checks that come in and they only have like just a few dollars a month to live on to get what they little personal stuff. So, I think us at the tobacco store got together and got them cartons of like little cheap ones or whatever, that way they could have a little bit here and there. They put them up and they would dispense them out, So, it was amazing. So that's what I'm talking about. Greenwood, Arkansas is an amazing community. They come together when needed. So that's why we wanted to come back here, and we did, and God has blessed us. We're still going through some rough times. It's going to get better. I believe that. I believe that President Trump will make it better and better. It's getting a little better with a lot of little things. But, now we're taking care of course, I've been taking care of my father-in-law since I've known my husband. He's always been with us, and that's fine. I love him to death. He's an amazing man. But it's just, it bothers my heart to know that somebody's going to say, oh, look, it's clearly a scam, whatever, on there, and be ugly. Why don't you just do like everybody else did? If I seen something like that, I would say, oh, and if I could help, I would have tried. And I wouldn't have asked proof of it. I would have just taken the money and paid a bill that they needed for them or something. Make sure I got it paid, I wouldn't say ugly stuff. I'd say I'm praying for you and I hope everything gets better. And if I can help, let me know and I will take, whatever and go pay a bill for you or something. Not be ugly. God says not to be ugly, honey. You're not supposed to be. And I have been in my lifetime. Trust me, I'm not perfect. Good Lord, I got a mouth on me too. But I've learned over the years as I get older that I try to use my voice and my little attitude of my voice for good. That's what you should do. You shouldn't use it for ugly or bad. You should use it for good. Be outspoken. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Don't lie about it. And God knows I've lied about some things over my years. Oh, Lord of mercy. I have things that were built up, had to let out, whatever. But you can't be doing that. Shame. It's just not nice. Be nice to people. If we had more kindness in this world, that's what this world needs, is kindness and love and more of God. If you would just take that ugly out of your heart, it would be so much better. And I pray for each and every one of you that whatever problems you're having or whatever you're struggling with or whatever you're just going through in a daily life or that this moment right now, it might seem bad right now, but I promise y'all it will get better. God is so good. He's amazing. And just pray to him, talk to him. He will help you. And if you got the ugliness in your heart like that and you want to be like that, toward people, I'll pray for you that, we can bring that ugliness out. I don't know. I'm an emotional person too, so don't get upset at me if I start crying, because it's I'm just very emotional, but also going through the menopause too. My husband's like, ooh, gotta go on vacation for 15 years. But just be nice, just live life to the fullest. Yes, of course, because life is so short. You're not promised here tomorrow. And love your family. Tell them every day. Don't ever, for one moment, walk out that door and not tell someone you love them. Be kind. You were born with a kind heart. So reclaim that. Reclaim God. And keep him there, because trust me, he will take out a lot of that mess out of your heart and minds if you just let him. He did me. I've still got a long way to go. Well, I do. You're always got a long way to go with that. When you love God and you try to live for him the best you can, the devil, he a liar. And right now, I think I'm actually going through the biggest spiritual war that I think I've ever had in my life. And it's not easy, but God has got me. And the devil is a liar. Tell him to rebuke him in the name of Jesus. Tell him to go away. Satan, you're not allowed. Get gone. Kick his booty right out that door. Okay? But, I just kind of figured that I'd get on here and kind of chat a little bit about that kind of stuff. I didn't do that to call out that person that said the ugliness like that. I really didn't. I didn't mean it that way. I was just trying to say that it's not nice. Don't do that to someone. I popped up there and got my mouth going saying I got proof, blah, 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 and I do. I really do. I still have it. But, that's in the past. You got to let go of the past to have a future. So, those videos, that I took last year like that, just don't. They happened. So, I thought, well, maybe just to get past all that from last year with the past of it, that I thought about just erasing them. So, I'll get on here and I'll ask y'all's opinion. Any of y'all that get on here and do this kind of content or anything like that, send me a message. Give me some ideas. Help me here. Should I erase them? Should I leave them up? Just to show something there or whatever. I don't know. I just know that God is good, and if you let him, he will clear you and free you from all that. He really will. Ooh, Lord of mercy. God has spoken, honey. He done made him a strike. He's bowling. That's what my grandma always used to tell us when we were kids. That keep us from getting scared of the storms, But, sorry, there was a call trying to come in or whatever, and I ain't gonna answer it. Anyway, he made a strike. That might have been a strike. It might have been close to maybe a tiny spare or something. I don't know. That wasn't real loud, but that was pretty loud. And, and sorry about the traffic when I'm out here. It's just easier for me to do my content sometimes out here because it's so refreshing right now outside. Even though it's raining, it's nice. And if anybody knows about the menopause, you get them hot flashes. Lord help us. And this street is really busy all the time. Denver is like a busy body. It's a busy bee. But yeah, anything y'all can give me suggestions, any opinions or comments or advice. Hey, I will take it. I will take it and run with it. I will take it with a grain of salt with the meanness. Trust me, because it's not worth getting upset, mad. It really isn't. Because that hurt me a whole lot last year over that one video that made that comment. Just a tiny, small, ugly comment, but to me, it hit me really hard. My husband's like, babe, you got to just let that go because you're not the type that just cares what people think. You to a point. I don't care what people think about me as far as what my opinions are and this and that, because everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got their right to an opinion and freedom of speech, so you use it. But I'm very emotional with that kind of stuff. I just don't feel it's appropriate or proper or right to just be naughty and ugly like that. Why do you have to go and say stuff like that? My grandma always said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Or one of my aunts used to say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, come sit by me, But no, come on, just be nice. Don't do the ugliness and get the ugliness out of your heart. Let's have more kindness in this world. We need that. God is asking us every day to just do that. So, anyway, I've been on here rambling. Probably, no one cares about that anyway, but, I just figured I'd put all that out there. So, please, if you have any suggestions or you can help me out with anything or just anything, hey, put it on there. I'm going to take the uglies with a grain of salt and pray for you. And I'm going to take all the other comments and run with them and advice. I'll run with it and take it. And I'll pray for you too, So anyway, y'all have a very, very, very blessed morning. And I will possibly see y'all here in just a little while. Get back on here maybe. But yeah, God has laid it really hard on me to start helping. And if y'all know anybody or any of y'all on here that's done the content so long that y'all have able to do like the KW3 little man that does the cooking and serving the homeless, he's amazing. So, any of y'all, if you know how you can help me out to make me produce this better, all these little contents and things, so I can get to that point where I can help people. My heart's just weighing now, just thinking about what I could do. There's so much I could do in the community. Greenwood, Fort Smith, I would do all the little communities like that. I really would. Because there's so many. Like Fort Smith, we moved over so close that we were always helping someone out homeless over there, like with money, or we even paid for a couple of hotels for people one time, taxis. I mean, we were always trying our best. If we had it, we would do it. And there's so much homeless over there. It's just crazy and nuts. I've never seen so much of it. And it's sad. They've got a shelter over there, but if you don't get there at a certain time, or if, I don't know what the deal is. I'm not going to judge nobody, but I'm not going to say about it because I don't know. But I've seen a lot of people with tents and hiding in places, and then they would get in trouble or go to jail because they were homeless, had to sleep in a tent. Well, what else you expect them to do? You ain't got nothing else around here. You gonna pay for them a house or a motel to stay in instead of staying where they're not supposed to be? I understand if they're in somebody's yard or somebody's property like that, without their permission, but they were in a unmarked, nobody doing anything piece of land. Somebody I'm sure owns it, but they're out back there by themselves. They're not bothering nobody. Why put them in jail? Why give them a ticket? When was homelessness illegal? It's our last president that did all that stuff, and that's my opinion. I'm sorry, you may not believe that, and that's fine, but that's my opinion. He messed us up. So now we've got the Trump man in there, fight, fight, fight. God asked you to fight, so does he. Let's go. But anyway, I'm going to get off here and start rambling. Give me something to drink. Maybe try to eat me something, because I'm not a morning eater. And I will see y'all in your next video. Subscribe and like my channel. And y'all have a very, very blessed day. I love y'all. Goodbye.